Kyoto! This is the first city I traveled to on my travels. Here they're known for preserving the traditional Japanese culture. I want to highlight Nishiki Ichiba, or Nishiki Markets, or more commonly known as Kyoto's Kitchen. This amazing market stretches out for an impressive 5 miles. But you don't have to take my word for it. On my first trek, I bumped into fellow tourists Katie and James from Melbourne, Australia. What's your favorite experience so far that you've had?
Like walking down the tiny little streets that are lined with craft shops and eating different foods and
half of the foods I couldn't recognize and half of the flavors I couldn't stomach.
Tell me, do you guys know any words in Japanese?
Hajimemashite, dozo yoroshiku, jinsu desu.
And what does that mean?
It means very nice to meet you, I'm James.
Any advice for people that want to come to Kyoto?
And allow yourself just to wander. I think the joy of Kyoto is just wandering the little back streets and getting lost.
Getting lost. Looking back at it, that statement is actually pretty poetic. So how do you get here? Well, the easiest way is to use the subway and to get off at the Karawachi station. Now, some of you might remember that I did a Facebook Live video while I was in Japan, and I just want to show you how small some of the areas actually are. Sometimes there's only enough for two-way traffic, and also occasionally you'll have to avoid moving cars as you cross streets. I did try one thing. It was called taco tamago, and it was basically a baby squid with a quail egg inside of it. Now, I've had calamari before, so I thought I'd go ahead and try it. It tasted surprisingly well. The last thing I want to highlight is Kyoto Station. Upon my arrival, I discovered an underground market. And it's big. So big that I embarrassingly got lost. Another thing I found underneath the train station was something called Porta Dining. Now this area had 15 little restaurants all right next to each other. I found a place that cooked noodles and meat on a giant skillet right in front of you. And the last thing I have to say is I would take James' advice. It was quite fun just going off and wandering and exploring the different little side streets just like he talked about. The aspect of not knowing what you're going to find made it feel like a little adventure. Next, I will be talking about Tsunamuchi Onsen, or better known as volcanic sand baths, and their contrast to yupikmakes, or steam baths that they have here in Alaska. Sumimasen, or excuse me. This is the most common term I use while traveling in Japan. It's an easy way to get someone's attention, or to politely apologize if you bump into someone, say in the subway or train station.